It's News 360. Hello, good evening, and welcome to our major news bulletin for the day. My name is Pa Kwesi.
And I am Aisha Yakubu Khalid. Coming up this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint
and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Tonight, there are renewed calls for government to diversify funding and review the free senior high school policy.
Last year, we produced $6.6 billion of gold. How can the #1 producer of gold in Africa not be able to find money to finance free SHS?
Also coming up, police disputes minority claims that it has reached an agreement on route for September 5 protest march.
We concluded the meeting that we will go through the route that we have proposed, and so everything is set for our protest.
Also ahead in the bulletin, BRICS leaders agree to expand alliance, but will this decision influence Ghana to join? We'll tell you more.
In business, Ghana Standards Authority empowers a team of 250 trading inspectors to ensure business compliance and quality standards.
Elsewhere on the foreign front, Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin on board crashed Russian plane. We've got details of all these stories, plus many more coming up in the next 60 minutes. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with your views, comments, and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Feel free to visit any of our social media pages on Facebook and on Twitter.
In the details tonight, government has been urged to diversify funding for the free senior high school policy. At TV3's national level dialogue on the policy, economist Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie suggested an overhaul of the tax system to generate revenue and support the flagship program.
The free senior high school since inception has primarily been funded with resources from the country's oil revenue. Many analysts have argued that Ghana's financing model is unsustainable, with an average of 1 billion Ghana cedis of oil revenue spent on the policy annually. Economist Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie suggested different ways by which government could raise the needed revenue. Aggressive collection of property rates and levying of additional taxes on the extractive sector are some of the proposals he made.
Ghana's GDP is estimated to be 599 billion cedis this year. So let's say about 600 billion Ghana cedis. 2%, only 2% of the 600 billion Ghana cedis is 12 billion cedis. So even if we take a look at just the property rate, the revenue from the property rate, 2% of GDP this year, if we were serious as a country to provide funding for free SHS, we can raise 12 billion cedis out of the property rate. Ghana is the #1 producer of gold in Africa. Last year, we produced $6.6 billion of gold, not million, billion dollars of gold, just 1 year. Ghana is #1. How can the #1 producer of gold in Africa not be able to find money to finance free SHS?
Dr. Sarkodie also suggested that access to the policy should be tied to the payment of taxes.
The use of tin as a requirement to enjoy free SHS. Tin. As a country, we should not run away from tax payment. Even if you have to pay 1 cedi, pay it, show your tin. If you want your child to enjoy free SHS, which has been financed by other sources, show your tin before we admit your child.
Meanwhile, stakeholders at the TV3 National Dialogue have renewed calls for the review of the free senior high school policy. They contend that after a number of years of implementation, the policy must be examined and improved for better educational outcomes.
The free senior high school policy since inception in 2017 has reached an estimated 1.2 million students. Enrollment figures have seen an increment with WASSCE pass rates on a steady rise. The policy implementation, however, is fraught with challenges. Economist and former rector of GIMPA, Professor Stephen Adair, highlighted shortcomings of the policy and proposed solutions.
The free SHS is good. It is facing challenges. It must be tweeted and made better so that Ghanaians will ensure that no child is left behind. When you go and see how many students sleep in a room in some of the secondary schools, actually I shudder. You go to Prempeh College, meant for about 1,000 students, have about 5,000 students. And even before the free SHS, I went to Krobodumasi Secondary School. And I was shocked because there were 3 levels of the bed, now it's 3. And students had to squeeze to go on them. And so we have a serious one. So nobody should see anybody who thinks that we should improve free SHS is an enemy of a regime or anybody else. But it's good.
Executive Director of the Institute for Education Studies, Dr. Peter Pate-Anti, indicated that the funding for the policy is not sustainable.
The future is bleak because it is also not sustainable. And when we talk about the sustainability issue, people think that, oh, you want parents to pay. I don't think so. What I think is that we want another stream of income for the policy, so that if you have 60% coming from government, there's some 40% coming from somewhere. I don't care whether it's parents, I don't care whether it's an international grant, I don't care whether it's even taxes. But that 40% would always support the policy when the government is not able to do that.
Kofi Asare of the Africa Education Watch lamented the dwindling resource envelope for sectors such as basic education due to the huge amount allocated to free SHS.
All I enumerated about the beautiful story of the Free Senior High School is because of a deliberate policy to finance it. Now, why am I saying so? Whilst we are recording this beautiful outcome from Free Senior High School, if you look at the pre-tertiary budget, I'm talking about basic and secondary budget of the Ministry of Education, this year, for instance, take out salaries, because salary is normally non-discretional, okay? You can't vary salaries because you already have teachers and workers in the education sector. Take our salary. We call it non-discretionary budget. If you analyze the non-discretionary budget of the Ministry of Education for this year, for instance, you realize that basic education is taking about 4%. 4%. And the remaining 96% is taken by secondary education.
NAGRAT and the Association of Private Schools also made contributions to the dialogue.
For me as a school teacher, I walk to the schools every morning and I see the schools deteriorate. And that is where my concern is. The philosophies and the theories don't matter to me. What matters to me now, here and now, is that the schools are deteriorating and they are deteriorating fast.
As we speak now, Prof mentioned some schools. When you go to Kumasi or Boase, there are good schools that have better infrastructure and better, durable materials to support this policy. But because the conversation itself is not all opened for parents and major stakeholders to make input and for it to be considered, it becomes very difficult for the private schools to be added.
In May this year, government announced plans to review the free SHS program. Details are still scanty as to what form this review would take.
Away from the TV3 dialogue, but still staying on education, the lives of pupils and teachers at Kukurazua Basic School in the Bawku West District in the Upper East region are at risk. The dilapidated school building houses pupils from KG1 to Primary 3.
They said there are no schools in Ghana that are sitting under trees. Come to Kukurazua Primary School. From KG1, 2, 3 up to P3, they are all sitting under trees.
Kukurazua Primary School was established in 2004 as part of the HICC project. Over time, the building has deteriorated with no renovation. The deteriorating state of the building is putting the lives of the pupils and teachers at risk, forcing them to resort to studying under trees. Deep cracks line the walls and pillars of the school building, leaving it perilously close to collapse. Although appeals have been made to the Ghana Education Service and the Bawku West District Assembly, nothing has been done about the situation.
This is a death trap, and we are finding it difficult to control the children in the classroom. Because of that, our enrollment has reduced.
Gladys Baba is a head teacher of Kukuruzwa Primary School.
Teaching on air, the children are not understanding anything, and they will write the same exams, and at the end, they will blame the teachers that the children are not performing. How will you perform that magic? And then we appeal to the assembly, common marker boards, common marker pen, common duster. They said they don't have money. What do they want us to do again? We are suffering. The children are suffering.
Some teachers have been sharing their experiences.
For the past 3 years, KG1 and 2, P1, P2, P3, this is what we have been using. It's just a cardboard. The time that you are supposed to use until you have to come and write it like this, sit down and write, consume time. After that, you come and the students, some of them say they don't understand. And sometimes these things, we don't get it. Sometimes I write on the air for them. How can you come to school? At the end of the day, you will not achieve what you have come to do.
And it's not even easy pasting it on the board. Most of them cannot see. And at times, the winds too will blow it away. Due to this, it has actually affected the children, and most of them cannot write. Most of them cannot read.
The case of Kukuruzwa Primary School is just one of several infrastructure crises that have plagued the area and the country at large. Urgent action is required to ensure the safety of pupils and teachers. A number of dilapidated school buildings have collapsed over the years, killing and injuring some pupils. In 2017, a number of kindergarten pupils at the Breman Jamra Methodist Basic School in the Central Region died after their dilapidated classroom block collapsed.
If you just joined us, a reminder you're watching News 360. This is our major news bulletin for the day. We're streaming live on Facebook, also live on your DSTV channel 279. Now, way to one of our big stories tonight, and the quest by the NDC minority to pile pressure on the central bank governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, to resign is gathering momentum after the opposition MPs say they have reached a consensus with the police on routes for their September 5 protest march.
And so the pressure is on to get the Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, to resign and resign in earnest. That September 5 protest by the minority in Parliament appears to be all but confirmed after more than an hour of meeting with the police hierarchy at the Accra Regional Police Command. According to the Deputy Minority Leader of the NDC, Ama Kofi Boa, they have agreed with the original route as captured in the letter submitted to the police command.
The police service made some proposals to us, and we also insisted on our proposals in terms of the route we have. We concluded the meeting that we will go through the route that we have proposed. And so everything is set for our protest, which will be joined by thousands of Ghanaians.
The NDC MPs had, in a letter dated August 21, stated their desire to march from the frontage of Parliament House through the Osu Cemetery traffic light to the Ministry of Finance, to the High Court Complex, Kimbu, Makola, Rollins Park, Opera Square, and then end up at the Bank of Ghana. For Bawku Central MP Mahama Ayariga, the NDC minority in Parliament will ensure Dr. Addison receives their petition demanding his resignation.
We want the governor to be the one to receive our petition, and that is why we must march to the central bank building itself so that he can come down and then receive the petition himself. And we insisted on that position. So I believe that the police will convey our demands to him. and I believe that he would make himself available to receive our petition.
Dr. Ernest Addison is coming under pressure to resign after the central bank posted 60 billion cedis in losses and the ongoing construction of a new head office amidst the country's current economic challenge. Eric Mawina Egbeta, TV3 News, Accra Regional Police Command.
Right, but the police says it has not reached any agreement with the minority legislators on the routes for their September 5 protest march. Well, in a statement detailing the outcome of the meeting with the minority leadership, the Accra Police Command says security assessment of the agreed route revealed possible disturbance to public order and public safety, amongst others. The police say they have requested the leadership of the minority to relocate their routes and destination of picketing. The statement ends by saying they are awaiting a response from the organizers of on the request for a change of routes and destination. So what exactly is going on? Joining us live on the phone lines is Bawku Central Member of Parliament, Mama Yariga. He was present at the meeting with the police for a reaction. Thank you very much, Mr. Yariga, for joining us here on News 360. So what exactly is the facts of the matter?
Well, good evening to you and your viewers and listeners. I am surprised that the police has conveyed an alternative route to us, and we're only seeing it on networks like yours. What happened today was that when we met, they had an alternative proposal, and their proposal was that we should start our march from Obra Sport around Circle and take the road from Circle to Accra Central Town. And at Adabraka, we turn left, and then we pass through City House, and then pass through the court complex, and then we end our protest march at the Independence Square. And their reason was that they felt that going to the central bank was not right because, according to the central bank, is a security zone. And then also that the route we had chosen will obstruct traffic, and it was a commercial route, and there will be a lot of people doing business and selling and etc. So we said, look, the route you have actually designed is a longer route, and that has a greater potential to obstruct traffic. We want to start from Parliament House to the Bank of Ghana. You are asking us to go and start from Circle to Independence Square. Who is encouraging who to obstruct traffic and create problems in the city?
But Mr. Yariga, unless, of course, you don't believe that the central bank is a security zone, why should there be a difficulty if the police says that, I mean, theirs is to ensure that there is peace and sanity prevails during your demonstration? So if they say that the Bank of Ghana premises is a national security zone, what is your difficulty with that?
We told them that the City House that they wanted us to march and pass is also a central bank facility. So if central bank is a security zone, then the City House is also a security zone. And they were the ones who were offering us to march past City House. So we thought that their arguments contradicted one another. So you can't be saying that we should avoid central bank installations and yet be saying that we could march through City House, which is housing a lot of central bank workers. So that was our argument. And then we told them again that as for security installations, the office of the president, I believe, is the most serious security installation. But we marched to the frontage of the Flagstaff House or Jubilee House, and we present petitions. So what prevents us from marching to the frontage of the central bank headquarters and then presenting a petition? So we made a case that, look, really, there's no basis for what you are saying. And if you're talking about, you know, a protest march through Makola Market, we've done that before. I have participated in protest march that we have gone through Makola before. So there's no basis for saying that today we cannot have a match that goes through Makola Market.
So Mr. Yariga, you're supposed to be working with the Mr. Yariga,
they were giving us.
You're supposed to be working with the police to arrive at a common decision. With all that's going on, do you suspect the police is out to frustrate you?
It's obvious. It's obvious that they want to frustrate us, but we will not relent. We will not accept it. We are going to go by our original route, and we will not allow them to stop us.
And when you say that you will not accept it and that you're going to go by your original route, what exactly do you mean?
It means that on that day, we are going to go according to what we have presented to them. That's what we're going to do. We'll converge at the Parliament House, pass through the Osu traffic light, then Ministry of Finance, then we get to Kimbu area, then we pass through Makola, and then to the Central Bank and present our petition to the governor there. That's what we're going to do.
My final question, you don't think this is going to create some difficulties for you? You don't think the police is going to prevent you physically from embarking on this route that you want to take?
No law in this country gives them the authority to physically prevent us. They know if they want to prevent us, they know how to do that. They don't do it physically.
Mr. Yariga, thank you very much for your time and for joining us here on News 360. Mahama Yariga is one of the MPs actually leading that incoming protest at the Central Bank.
To some more stories tonight, electricity tariffs will go up by 4.22% and water by 1.18% from September 1 after a review carried out for the third quarter of the year by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. Our Ashanti regional correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar has been finding out how consumers in Kumasi are reacting to the news.
The tariff adjustment, according to PURC, is to ensure that the real value of the cost of providing utility services is upheld. But some consumers in Kumasi say the increment is insensitive, considering the existing economic hardship.
Concerning the increment in the utility tariffs, in fact, it is very sad. Looking at how the economy is going right now, Ghana, our economy is in shambles. And people are trying to find their feet every now and then. Businesses are collapsing every day because the previous increment, people are not even able to cope with it. And for you to come back again and tell us that with effect from 1st September, you are going to bring an increment again, at least I think this is serious. And I don't know how things are going to be.
As difficult as it is, there's a need for increase, but it should be reasonable. And reasonable in the sense that it should be within the means of the Ghanaian. Because if you give me a minimum wage of 2 cedis and you tax me 10 cedis for utility, you are asking me to go and steal, to go and pay. So the managers of the economy should not increase it in a vacuum. They should make sure that it is within the means of the Ghanaian. And we should be sensitive to the plight of Ghanaians. Already, people are complaining about economic hardship and that they can't even afford their 3 square meals. So if you are increasing utility, you should have that at the back of your mind. Government should generate more income in order to subsidize some of these things.
The hardship of this country is becoming unbecoming. It's so disheartening. So they should think of it before taking any action. How can you be increasing everything just by heart, just like that?
Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Well, back in Accra, plans to increase utility tariffs is likely to face stiff opposition from heavy users of water and electricity. Most operators plan to pass the cost on to goods and services. Judge Quenin has more.
76-year-old Mame Enesna Ahin is equally worried about the constant increment in utility tariffs. She has been selling water at Accra New Town for the past 10 years.
Bill Neban, no so I was through. Into so
Existing bills are on the high, and so the increment will be a burden. The business as a whole is not faring well.
If you were 3 days, 4 days,
Monthly bills, she says, are astronomical. Mama and Esina charges 1 Ghana cedis for this rubber bowl here. So from September 1, when the increment takes effect, any resident that patronizes the water could be paying 1 cedi 50 pesos or more.
We're 150 crowd.
I fear they might not even patronize the water if prices go up. The business is on the verge of collapse.
The business a bit me go.
Business in Beku.
She questions why government intervention during the COVID-19 pandemic to provide free water becomes a cost to her. New Century Press Limited in Accra Newtown relies heavily on electricity for its services, which require weekly or daily purchases. Increased tariffs may impact the business due to the high demand for electricity.
With the increment to make the office business prices to go high, because when the prices are high, the customers might not even bring us the job, and that's when we are going to lose. Yes, so we'll be losing from the customers bringing us job, and then I think it's going to worry us.
A cross-section of the public expressed concerns about the increments burden on them.
Prepaid 1 million now. 5 days now, sir. The prepaid doesn't last after purchase, and we are to expect an increment. We cannot bear this any longer.
No one gonna demand too much to do. Every week, Biano, you told 2 million.
We pay so much for prepaid, and so this increment will be a worry to us.
The PURC encourages customers to remain calm and manage their consumption, stressing that the increment is not beyond their capacity, emphasizing the importance of self-management.
We get accused by the utility service provider that we are tilting more towards the consumers. And the consumers also accuse us that we are tilting towards the service providers. Well, that tells us that you are doing a good job because you are being fair to all the parties involved.
In what may be a game-changing development, the BRICS leaders have agreed to expand their alliance with an announcement expected tomorrow. But what are the prospects for Ghana, and will this decision influence Ghana to join the alliance? My colleague Judith Awachitando has more in the following report.
Finally agreed on an expansion. That's according to the South African foreign minister. The expansion of BRICS has been one of the biggest agendas at the 15th summit taking place in Johannesburg in South Africa. And while most BRICS members were in support of the enlargement, there have been divisions on how many countries should join as well as how soon they could. Well, this agreement paves way for dozens of interested candidate nations who as of now stand at about 40 to make their case for joining the grouping, which seeks to lead the development of the Global South.
New realities call for a fundamental reform of the institutions of global governance so that they may be more representative and better able to respond to the challenges that confront humanity.
Nigeria, which is the biggest economy in Africa, has so far expressed interest in joining BRICS, and we had to see whether or not Ghana will follow suit.
But as we reported, Ghana may not be joining the group anytime soon. And this is certainly due to Ghana's strategic relations with the US and Europe, which could be affected should the country join a group that is trying to wrestle power from the US. But it is important to note that China, India, and South Africa are among Ghana's top trading partners, which means that the country already has important trade relations with members of the BRICS groups and may want to keep it as such. For now, we await to see the modalities of the expansion and what it will mean if membership grows to include Saudi Arabia and others who are important trade allies of the United States.
But while we await Ghana's final verdict, some key personalities have expressed hope it will soon join.
There are always national considerations, so I wouldn't be the one to say to Ghana, please apply, but I hope that at least whatever decision Ghana takes, they'll have considered the opportunity and decided in the best national interests.
Judith Awachitando, TV3 News, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Media General plans to introduce a fact-checking unit to combat misinformation in the digital era. The Chief Operating Officer, Nyama Ishen Famiye, announced the move during a visit by the National Democratic Congress leadership, showcasing the media conglomerate's commitment to providing accurate information and combating false narratives.
The National Democratic Congress emphasized transparency and open communication during the Ketsy call. The General Secretary, Fifi Kwete, called for strong leadership and journalists to uphold truth and transparency in reporting.
NDC and MPP do not have to arrogate truth to themselves anymore. That we should have a situation where the media must have a certain index of truth. So when a politician is lying, it should be pretty obvious that you're just lying, you're not telling the truth.
The Group Chief Operations Officer, Nuyama Ishen Famia, lauded the visit, highlighting the media conglomerate's achievements in objective journalism and diverse voices platform.
We will always be friends of all seekers of truth. Yes, we will always be friends of anybody who is interested in Project Ghana and is determined to do what is right to make it happen. There may be some who may have ulterior motives, not us. Our position will not change. We will stand on the side of the truth.
Communications Director of the opposition, the National Democratic Congress, Kakra Esamwa, commended Media General for the quality of journalists produced.
Let me also share in your pride and joy, because it's not only the Komla Dumo Award that you people won. You won, I think, the best journalist of the year. It means a lot, because it means that your peers know your quality. We are proud to be Ghanaians, to be part of all this.
Discussions centered on the crucial role of politics and journalism in Ghana's democratic process.
Still to come in the bulletin. The spotlight on the governing New Patriotic Party's Super Delegates Conference tonight is on the former Energy Minister Boakye Jaku, economist Dr. Kofi Konadu-Preku, and former Agric Minister Dr. Owusu Efiri-Akoto. My colleague Noble Crosby Annan assesses their chances.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint. As compared to other paint brands on the market, we take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Choose Sukasa for the highest quality, luxurious townhouses in East Lagoon Hills. 2, 3, and 4 bedroom in a gated community starting at $40,000 in Accra, Ghana. Sukasa, building on trust.
Every child is so unique. You like no other. Outstanding in every way. It's me like no other. So anytime you walk and play. You like no other. You are special like Indomie. It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint. You like no other. Indomie. You like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie. Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This advert is FDA approved.
Introducing the new Jamal washing powder with multi-enzymes that helps remove stubborn stains.
It has a nice fragrance. Not harsh on my hands. Foams easily. And removes stains well.
Oh, I still to be.
Ma, you brought 5 big sachets of new Jamal washing powder.
Yes, ma.
It really removes stains. It has a nice fragrance.
Yes, ma.
Then add 30 sacks of Jamal washing powder to your engagement list.
Hey, ma. Jamal.
Yes, ma.
New Jamal washing powder for cleaner, fresher wash. Your partner for clean clothes. This advert is FDA.
Who no like chop money? They want chop money is here. Collect your chop money every morning at 10 a.m. by simply dialing *446# and select option 2 to play Dewa 539 chop money. Win 40 times your stake with Direct 2, 400 times your stake with Direct 3, and 20 times your stake with Direct 1. You can also pay your numbers to win big. You only pick your numbers from 1 to 39, so winning is easy. Dial *446# to play Dewa 539 chop money now. Dewa, have fun!
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
SoftCare. Protect your leap.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN, Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Welcome back. It's now time for business. Michael is here. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
We know that the Ghana Standards Authority has been up to something.
Well, yeah, but as part of its efforts to ensure compliance, they have been carrying out some exercises.
Well, give us the details.
Sure thing. Good evening. Welcome to the business segment here on News 360. My name is Michael Obodu. Now, the Ghana Standards Authority has revealed that a team of 250 trading standards inspectors have been set up to enforce the strictest sanctions on non-compliant businesses. According to the authority, this is a critical step towards maintaining high standards in the country's business landscape. Director General of the GSA, Professor Alex Dodu, addressed the media on the sidelines of a visit by the Secretary General of the International Organization of Standardization, ISO.
These inspectors, according to Professor Alex Dodu, are currently undergoing rigorous training and are being equipped with knowledge and tools necessary to identify violations and irregularities in various industries.
They will be uniformed, and their job will be to be on the markets, at the ports, everywhere, to ensure that no matter where the products come from, once they are being traded, they must meet the requirements. If they do not meet the standards and they are substandard, they will be removed from the market, and huge penalties, as prescribed by the law, will be applied.
For his part, Secretary General of the International Organization for Standardization, Sergio Mujica, highlighted the importance of ensuring quality and the need to withdraw conflicting standards under the AFCFTA.
We need to provide competitiveness to industry, but also we need to protect people and environment through mandatory regulations that should be based on international standards.
Meanwhile, Secretary General of ASO's Central Secretariat, Dr. Hemogene Nsenjimana, says for the AFCFTA to thrive, there is a need to reduce non-tariff barriers.
We need to withdraw conflicting standard at the national level. That is the key message that we have.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has announced that it has collected over 500 million Ghana cedis in the last 4 months through its tax compliance initiatives. Additionally, some 3,600 businesses and 110 players in the e-commerce space have also registered for VAT. These details were shared by the Commissioner General of GRA, Reverend Dr. Amishadai Owusu-Amwa, at the 11th Tax Annual Conference in Accra.
When we introduce the condition that if you are an enterprise or a company that is importing and you are not registered for VAT, you have to pay the upfront tax of 12.5%. It will amaze you to see that we introduced this on 6th of June. By the 30th of July, we've had 3,600 enterprises registering for VAT. That is in 2 months, less than 2 months. These are people or enterprises who have been importing into the country for years. And until we said that if you you are not registered for VAT, you cannot clear your goods. In 2 months, 3,600 enterprises registered. In the same 2 months, we collected 78 million as upfront payments for the VAT. When we said that if you are an online firm or an e-commerce firm, we have introduced the e-commerce portal on the e-portal.
Now, MTN Mobile Money Limited addressed barriers to digital payments adoption in Ghana at its thought leadership session of its Momo season in Accra. Mobile Money has become a leading system, with MTN Momo holding a greater share of transactions.
Stakeholders explored innovative ways to increase access and also collaborate to push the agenda of growing digital payments in Ghana.
Putting consumers at the center of everything we do is of utmost importance. They are the reason why you exist. They are the reason why we also exist, whether directly or indirectly, as a regulator. It is important that whatever we do, we're giving them the right level of support, education, and protection so that they will continue to be able to utilize the services.
On the issue of mobile money fraud, Sylvia Otui-Champon, head of products and services of MTN Mobile Money Limited, said it is important to continue educating the general public on safety measures.
If we can go down in different languages, it can go down to everybody. We feel it will solve the fraudulent activities. You see how they set up. Very cheap to set up to defraud people. So barrier to entry is zero. A lot of investment has gone into the technical aspect. A lot of investment still ongoing in the education. But you and I, especially the media's role in bringing out some of these stories and actually showcasing it will help us.
Mobile money has come a long way in Ghana since its introduction. It has helped to increase financial inclusion and boost economic growth. It has also made it easier for people to do business and to access essential services.
Well, that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe. Over to you, Aisha.
This is your Election Command Center. The spotlights on the governing New Patriotic Party's Super Delegates Congress or Conference tonight is on former Energy Minister Boakye Agyarko, economist Dr. Kofi Konadu-Apraku, and former Agric Minister Dr. Wusu Efri-Akoto. My colleague Noble Crosby and assesses their chances.
Former Energy Minister Boakye Agyarko, who received 10 votes in the 2008 MPP Congress, is set to return to politics. As a national campaign manager for the 2012 general election, Agyarko is part of a competitive field of 10 aspirants for the MPP presidential primaries. The contestants will be narrowed down to 5 at a special delegates conference. The question remains, what are Agyarko's chances in the heated contest?
If he hadn't left the government in the manner he did, and after that he's had some issues to pick with the party and indeed the government. In the last poll that we did among MPP delegates, I mean, he was the bottom. He and Apraku were swapping positions. The bottom half, I mean, the bottom of the race, less than 1%. And it reflects his relationship with the party and government machinery.
Dr. Freya Kotoho is fifth on the ballot, has extensive political experience, having served as a Member of Parliament and Cabinet Minister in the Akufo-Addo-led administration. He resigned on January 10, 2023 to focus on his presidential ambition. Although confident about securing a spot in the top 5, the question remains whether he can succeed.
He is hovering between 5th and 6th position. He is a former government appointee and former MP for Kwadaso. His interaction with them over a period would have enabled him to build some rapport and relationship with them. And they could reward him by putting him among the top 5 based on his position as a former government appointee himself.
Former Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Kofi Konadu-Apreku is a prominent presidential contender with a history of disappointment in previous attempts. He believes his economic background and experience in reviving other countries make him the best candidate to lead Ghana out of its current economic challenges.
He is somebody we call a serial contester. I don't see his chances as very great. Well, he's been outside the country for a while, and even among MPP delegates, he wasn't polling at all. But last time we did the poll, he was on 0.03%, less than 0.1%.
Aspirants in the NPP flag-bearer race have diverse experiences and aspirations to shape the party's destiny with their unique trajectory. But who will make it to the top 5? The superdelegates will decide.
It's now time for some sports news. Please stay with us on News 360.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. A unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family because every smile matters.
New Pepsodent Herbal. Introducing a unique combination of herbal extracts in an antibacterial toothpaste for strong teeth and healthy gums that protects your family and you. Every smile matters.
There are some moments that last forever because they happen only once. Like your very first day, your first day of school, your first successful bike ride. What's your child's next milestone? Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture is here to ensure they smile through it all. Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture has been keeping children smiling for more than a decade by relieving them from gastric pain, flatulence, minor digestive upset, and teeth and discomfort. Now, Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture. Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water. One for life. So relax and unwind and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is a
Sports segment is brought to you by
Bell Pack Tissues.
Hello, good evening, and it's time for us to bring you the latest in the world of sports. My name is Thierry Nyan, and we start with athletics, where James Dadzie went down with what looks like a hamstring injury and was unable to finish his race in heat 4 of the 200-meter race. He did. His compatriot Joseph Paul Amoah finished 5th in heat 6 of the same event. The 2022 Commonwealth Games bronze winner recorded a time of 20.56 seconds, also missing out on the semis. He is also suspected to have sustained an injury to his toe. Team Ghana's technical team await the test results for the duo as they look ahead to the 4x100-meter relays on August 25. Raymond French, Edwin Gadayi and Isaac Botio are currently available for the relays, with Team Ghana aiming to add one of Dadzie or Joseph Paul to the squad. Now, Ernest Nuamah will be announced as a new Lyon player by the end of the week. There is a reason the French club got the player for a loan with an obligation to buy. My colleague Oreko Ampofo explains why in this report.
The news of Lyon signing Ghanaian teenager Ernest Nuamah was met with shock as questions were raised about the financial capabilities of the French club. Lyon's financial struggles have been well documented within the past year after the takeover by John Textor was completed late 2022. As a result, the club needed to be creative and found their way around the Nuamah deal, going for a loan immediately with an obligation to buy for €30 million next summer.
So since the arrival of John Textor, the new owner, the salary and the transfers of the club are controlled by an organization called DNCG. That's an organization who controls the accounts of a professional club in France. And Lyon can't spend the money they want because they need to prove that they have the money, the capacity to invest in the next year.
The 7-time Ligue 1 champions have gone through some form of a rebuild after Jean-Michel Aulas, who had been the club owner since 1987, sold a majority stake in the club. The team has since lost a number of key players over the years, and Nuamah being signed for a club record fee will come with pressure.
The price of Nuamah is really, it's a big thing. 25 million is the biggest transfer in Lyon, the same price as Jeffrey Adelaide. And Jeffrey Adelaide, when he arrived in Lyon, since he arrived in Lyon, he has a lot of injuries. He never had a good game. So people will say, be careful, because the last big buy of Lyon was Jeffrey Adelaide, and now it's Nuamah. Let's see what happens.
Michael Essien won Ligue 1 twice with Lyon and was also adjudged Ligue 1 Player of the Year in the 2004-2005 season. The club gave the midfielder the platform to climb higher heights, and Nuamah is looking to follow suit.
Now, ahead of the final round of the Europa League qualifiers, Ludogorets striker Bernat Tekpete says his side are calm as they host Ajax in the first leg. The winner of the tie will gain promotion into Europe's second-tier competition this season.
About feeling, of course, when you play with such team like this, you just have to stay calm. You just don't have to have a feeling of emotion, feelings, and this kind of. You just have to relax and think about the game, how you can perform on your highest level for this match. So, with such game, I could say my feeling is a little bit calm. I'm really calm. We just have to stick to our plan, what the coach will tell us, and then we have to go all out. That's it. We wanted to play Champions League, but now we're playing this Europa League. So for sure, I'm proud to play against such big team like this as Ajax. I just hope we get our moment, our day, for us to be able to make it.
And that'll be all for the sports here on News 360 with me, Thierry Nyan. We'll bring you some more sports subsequently. For now, entertainment is next. Stay with us.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
It's the Premier League, all on DSTV. All the goals, clashes, and moments. All of Rashford, Salah, and Saka.
Their start is getting better and better.
All in the language of your choice, all in HD. Available on all these bouquets to choose from. To watch on all these devices. Get DSTV with an HD decoder plus 1 month compact for 299 CDs. It's the Premier League, all on DSTV.
My networks are use no. I'm planning and I'm recharge ya. Munyam faso everyone so. Mabwa, Capre, wait. And that's what you want. Muntian Kaibo did through. Vodafone say every Saturday, a Brevia Uber recharge from 5 cedis El Cobiano. Assigned with seeking up to 20% amount back cash. Our Vodafone cash so. It shock you? What did you hear say? Uber recharge. Say my Vodafone app. Vodafone cash, credit transfer, short code, MBA, Uradia,
Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive up to 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone demo promotion.
Vodafone, further together.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water, GTP Lifestyled, Vodafone, further together, and powered by 3 Entertainment. Welcome to the Entertainment News segment. My name is Anita Ikuya Ekufu, and Promasidor Ghana, producers of Onga range of spices, has awarded the winner of the 2023 Jollof Battle, Dr. Elenche Bafo of Akusia Recipes, a check of 15,000 Ghana cedis. And brands manager for Onga Ghana, Sandra Anoff, reiterated the company's commitment to producing quality food product for consumers.
This year's Onga Jollof Battle featured 6 Ghanaian content creators competing for supremacy in jollof preparation. The event is to encourage entrepreneurship among content creators.
To interact with or assure the customers or consumers that Onga is committed to bringing great flavors into their meals. We want to reassure them that Onga is the #1 seasoning. Onga Jollof has come to stay. So we'll bring you a surprising edition.
Contestants were evaluated for presentation, plating skills, kitchen hygiene, innovation, taste, and knowledge of Onga seasoning brand. The third runner-up, Moana of Food Stories, was presented with a check of 5,000 cedis. Wesley Kessie, who came second, was also presented a check for 10,000 cedis. Dr. Ellen Cheba, who emerged the winner, was presented a check for 15,000 cedis and a brand influencer deal for 6 months.
I feel very, very proud because I've worked for this. Yes, because when I had a call to, participate in this thing, I tried cooking 4 times, making beef jollof, goat meat jollof, chicken jollof, and it wasn't to my expectations. So I went with a chance. Everything about Onga is super big. I love it.
Contestants were presented with brand souvenirs and packages from the Onga brand.
And away from that, versatile artist Kwesi Bochi has urged government and leaders of the creative sector to pay more attention to the arts industry. And according to him, Ghanaian creatives are breaking barriers in other countries and therefore need the maximum support. Over the years, the absence of exhibition spaces and museums continued to be a major factor hindering the growth of artistry in Ghana. Many artists have lamented the effect of the non-existence of these facilities on their craft. In a bid to focus on growth, sustainability, and professional development of artists, Kwesi Botwe has unveiled an arts gallery, World Phase, aimed at establishing a nurturing environment to support the creative industry. World Phase Studios offers a haven for exhibitions, seminars, and residency for artists. Kwesi Botwe believes more of such projects are needed to boost the Ghanaian creative space, hence calling on government to pay critical attention to the sector.
What I'll say to the government and the creative art is that they need to focus on art, because Ghana art is really doing so much. In times like this, when you travel to everywhere and you tell people you're a Ghanaian artist, they really respect you. So it's telling you that Ghanaian artists are really doing well, and we have so many artists doing so well on the international platform. So
that'll be all for the entertainment news segment. My name is Anita Ikuya Ikufu. Have a good evening.
Before we take leave of you, remember to brush your teeth before you go to bed this evening and tomorrow morning when you wake up from bed with either Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Pepsodent Charcoal, Pepsodent Herbal, or Pepsodent Triple Protection, because with Pepsodent,
every smile matters. Well, that's how we conclude News 360. Thanks very much for making a date with us. For more news, you can go to our website. It's www.3news.com. My name is Pa Kwesi Asare.
And I am Aisha Yakubu Khalid. Have a good evening.
Pepsodent is aware that globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. That's why by giving her Pepsodent, you're not only protecting her teeth, but also helping her grow up